up, everybody? This is Damron with Trash Ass Gamers. We're playing Elder Scrolls Online. We're going to be playing through Falkreath Hold on Veteran difficulty, trying to get the no death run on our way to the Dreadhorn Shaman skin in the game. Now, I will say, with the speed run is under 15 minutes, so we're going to keep that separate. You likely won't really make a video for that because the speed run really is a blood spawn method. It's 15 minutes. That's pretty quick, and the ads are a little tougher in this dungeon, so your best bet for the speed run is to blood spawn, aka just run to the boss, get killed by the ads, reset it, and fight the bosses, as you can get the speed run in under 15 minutes that way. Now, in regards to all the mechanics for the dungeon, I have a separate video up for that. I'll link that right there in the upper right of the screen for you. That's going to cover all the boss mechanics in this dungeon, as well as the hard mode of the final Damahos fight for this run as well. So that's going to be the hard mode. Now, for your no death run, there's really no need to do hard mode. Just do regular veteran, and no need to blow the horn in the final battle. In the boss battles in this particular video, we'll just talk about things that are kind of specific to the no death run, little strategies here and there to help you in the no death run. And first, as you saw, go ahead and take that path that we started the dungeon with to skip the first few ads. Why? You might as well minimize your chances of dying in the first pull. Also, for the speed run, when you're going for under 15 minutes, it's not going to start the timer until your first battle. So you can start the speed run right here at the first battle. And Morag Bulblow doesn't really have too many attacks you need to worry about in the sense of killing you or ending your speed run. And shortly after that, when you fight the Siege Mammoth up here at the gate, the only thing you really need to worry about that's going to kill you and kind of ruin a no death run is when he does his stomp attack. He kind of raises up in the air, stomps on the ground, and this kind of sends a wave of fire in all direction that does a significant amount of damage and will likely kill the DPS and healer players if they're not blocking. Other than that, getting through the first outer portion of Falkreath Hold before we actually enter the gates isn't too difficult. There's nothing here that should really ruin a no death run. So let's plow through this, and we'll talk a little bit about some of the ads going forward in just a minute.
Send these milk drinkers scurrying back to the reef!
So right there, make sure you're blocking that. That attack right there will end a no death run really quick.
Unbar the gate! Quickly! Let our friends inside!
Now, when you're progressing through Falkreath Hold for a no death run, you can skip a few of the ad pools like this one here, but I highly recommend just taking it slow. Go ahead and fight these fights. Just take it slow, because you're going to get caught in a situation if you skip an ad pool. Let's say you're fighting the next set of ads forward and a player backs up too much, then you accidentally pull the ads that you meant to skip, and now you have people coming up from your back and you're fighting two ad pools at the same time. When it comes to the ad pools with the Dreadhorns themselves, you want to take out the Earthbinders first. They're going to be causing, you know, the attack up from the ground that does a significant amount of damage, and those are going to be the most devastating to the group. The Trampler and all the other ads, the tank's going to be able to hold on to just fine. It's the Earthbinder that's going to get other people killed. So any pool with an Earthbinder in it, focus them down first, and let's progress to the next boss. as we're rolling up to the next boss, obviously like all of the Elder Scrolls dungeons, I will keep the dungeon as a complete playthrough. But I'm going to show you the safe method here. Have the tank pull the two-hander and just hold on to the two-hander away from everybody else. DPS and healer, you're going to focus down Urbogar first, the archer. Take him down, drop his soul off here to be cleansed or whatever is happening to it. And then we're going to focus on the mage. And this is the safe method, okay? You really want to just hold, see as our tank's pulling the two-hander away, you want to just kind of hold the two-hander away from everybody, okay? Because he has obviously a heavy attack that can cause significant damage. It can end a no-death run. But more importantly, you want them to be separated when halfway through the fight, Sir Nunon goes away and these guys re-enter the fight. You want them to re-enter the fight not close to each other, because then their attacks can stack and that can kill you pretty fast. With this method, our archer's going to spawn to the right, the two-hander's going to spawn right there where he's laying down on the left, and the mage is going to spawn up top there, and the DPS and the healer, we're immediately going to go to the archer and we're going to interrupt his heavy attack or his charge shot that can certainly kill someone in one shot, which you're going to see here. He gets up, starts doing his charge, boom, I interrupt him, we're going to burst him down, drop his soul off, and we're moving on to the mage, and similarly to the first portion, the tank is holding on to the two-hander again. So this is just a safe way to get through this fight to avoid, again, ruining a no-death run. Alright, so we're rolling up on the next boss here, and this is a very easy fight. Deathlord doesn't really do too many things that you need to worry about as direct damage. You know, the tank's going to hold on to that. Just establish who's going to cleanse all the souls, you know, here. Establish that before the fight. Who's going to cover the left side of the room? Who's going to cover the right side of the room? Again, all the mechanics, we're not talking about everything. You can check that again in the hard mode and mechanics video, but for no death, the only thing you really have to worry about is cleansing those souls. If more than 2 are up on veteran, more than likely someone's going to die from that little AoE that generates around your foot. So establish that before you start the fight.
Unholy curse! I reckon this will
Alright, and as we're outside here with the last set of Dreadhorn, you can see we're kind of crouched in this doorway, and we're going to get up and we're going to run to the door of Damahas and just immediately enter it. I do recommend doing that on your no death run because, you know, while the last ad pool of the 3 Dreadhorns isn't insanely difficult, it is somewhere that someone can easily die and you can ruin that run. So it's better just to go ahead and skip that last ad pool. When you run in here, you're pretty much safe. Now again, the mechanics videos will be discussed about in the hard mode. The mechanics are relatively the same. I'll just point out a few of the differences. The main one being you have 2 extra pillars. And also post Wrathstone, this is much easier because on normal veteran difficulty, he's no longer going to get his Molten Shield around 20%, which made the fight last a little bit longer near the end when all of the ads would spawn in. And in the ad, you know, the last portion of the fight, Stone xxDAMRONxx will spawn less often. So the last part of this fight used to be significantly more difficult. So I think now with post Wrathstone, you guys are going to have a much easier time finishing this fight on veteran without a death. The one thing you need to focus on for your no death portion is establishing where you're going to start your pillars and in which direction you're going to go. With that said, if you find yourself in a situation where he's about to shout and you're really far away from the pillar, it's okay to get behind a different pillar. Ideally, you guys are only wanting to blow up 1 pillar per shout, but on normal veteran, you have at least 3 extra pillars that you can use during the fight, and if you burn very, very fast, you're actually going to have several extra pillars. So here he is about ready to shout. We all have established that this is the pillar we're going to stand behind first, and that's that. Now just be safe. You know, he has this inner phase and the outer phase, which we talk about in the mechanics video, but for the no death run purposes, just be careful and know that those phases are going to alternate. The good news about the non-hard mode is he will not combine his ground and pound with the inner phase. So anytime he ground and pounds, you're going to be in the outer phase and be pretty far away from him, and you can dodge those attacks just by standing behind the pillar. When the ads spawn in, be sure you burn the Stone xxDAMRONxx first and quickly, because if any of the ads are going to kill you, it's going to be the Stone xxDAMRONxx. So here you go. Here's the outer phase, as I was telling you. When he does the ground pound and also the molten lava's coming up from the ground, you're pretty safe just standing behind a pillar, especially in the non-hard mode, so that shouldn't pose you too much difficulty. So those are kind of the things you want to watch out for when you're doing your no death. Luckily, when he gets post 20%, you got no molten shield anymore, so we'll just burn him, and then we'll show you the skin here at the very end. Oh, and I do want to point out that attack right there, when he draws everybody in, you can either block and just walk straight back, and that's going to be the exact speed at which you can avoid that attack, or, you know, you can heavy attack if you have a bow or whatever. A heavy attack or blocking is going to provide you with the exact speed that you need to be walking away from that, in which you won't take damage. Alright, so there you go. Once you've finished all of the challenges associated with dungeon, you will get the Dreadhorn Shaman. Again, that will include the speed run, which is Bull Rush, and again, that's under 15 minutes. I've touched a few things on how to do that. The fights are the same, just blood spawn it, right? Run to the bosses and get killed, because 15 minutes is pretty quick. You'll get, obviously, Falkreath Hold Conquered just for the first time you beat it on Veteran, and the Unbroken Line is going to be whenever you do the no death run. The Bully by the Horns is the hard mode, and then when you finish all that, you're going to get the Dreadhorn Shaman skin, which is pretty cool. I think it's a pretty cool skin, so feel free to rock that. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, feel free to like and subscribe, and hopefully we'll see you next time.